Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chris here. I'm back, and it's been 6 weeks since I've had any booze. I feel great because I haven't had any booze for 6 weeks. If you are just following on the journey, my name is Chris Altamirano. I haven't had any booze for 6 weeks. I decided to give it up. If you want to know exactly why I decided to give it up for 90 days, for this 90-day alcohol challenge, you guys can check out the previous videos. But if you're still a coming back base viewer, welcome back. I appreciate you sticking along with me on the journey. Pretty much all the same stuff. I feel really, really good. I am not craving alcohol at all, but I have noticed that in my environment, there's been a lot of alcohol as of late, and it hasn't really affected me. But it's crazy because now I look from an outside perspective, and I'm like, oh shit! Now I'm seeing how I used to be, and it's almost kind of scary to see the patterns that you used to have. And it's especially scary when it's your friends that have those patterns, and you're looking at it from an outside perspective, and you want to help, and my first immediate thought is to judge, but I know that I used to be like that as well, and so who am I to judge? I mean, that would just make me a really big hypocrite, and that's not cool. You don't want to be a hypocrite. I definitely don't. So all I can do, is just kind of continue and lead by example. I actually, this past week, my dad actually offered me a beer, and I used to actually think that was a huge norm, seeing my dad drink. Like guys, that's just what guys do, right? You go, you work super hard, and then you get off of work, you come back, and you have a beer, and maybe you have another beer, you watch the game and have a few pints. And then as I grew up and as I've kind of been going through this challenge, I've recognized, this is the first time actually voicing it publicly, you realize that, that's just toxic masculinity. That's toxic behavior that you picked up from your past and from your environment, and it became a norm. And I don't want that to be my norm, where I go to work and I come back, or I work on a project, or I work on this video, or maybe this was a different video, and then all of a sudden I decide yeah, it's time for a pint. I worked hard, I deserve it. It's the byproduct of working hard. No, fuck that. It shouldn't be like that. I also had a really good conversation with a friend of mine, and she was talking about how we use alcohol to mask whatever it is that we're unhappy about, and that's the truth for sure. I realize it more and more now that I was super unhappy with the work that I was doing, and then I realized that obviously I had a pretty good week this last week in terms of production. Made 3 sales. I work in solar. If you know anybody that works in solar, we get paid very handsomely for what we do, and so obviously it's always good to have forward progress and having momentum, but more or less I was drinking and creating these self-sabotaging thoughts because I was having a bad attitude about what it was that I did. And it's super easy to get caught up in the booze cruise and mask all your issues with alcohol. And then when other people join in on the parade, it's almost by you drinking booze, by me drinking alcohol, I was giving the people around me permission to drink alcohol. But as soon as I stopped drinking alcohol, the people around me, it was I became this big fucking mirror and just put the issue right back in their face. And some people respect it and other people don't. And some people can hang and some people can't. And it's just, I'm realizing now it's part of the journey. 6 weeks in, still nothing super drastic. Even a couple of my homies up in Portland, they commented on my Facebook wall, and they're just because I'm posting these videos also on my Facebook, and some of my homies are not even a shot. And I get it, they're being playful, but I already know that it's yo, are you supporting me, or are you kind of poking fun passively? Is it passive support? Is it kind of oh, okay, cool, he'll be back, he'll be back to us in no time, yeah, we'll have a shot. And then, one of them played oh, a shot of wheatgrass. So they're my boys, I love them to death. But I guess if there's one thing I've learned in the 6 weeks, a huge takeaway is don't expect support from anyone. Just don't ever expect anything from anyone. For anything, it's gonna be, you, yourself, and just you and your journey. Wow, that's a really cool fucking car. And you can't expect anything from anyone. It's really, you have to be very dependent on yourself. And I know people are oh, you gotta find a support group and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I've been pretty good. I feel like you've been my support group this phone, this audience, whoever's watching this. Also, I got a really cool message the other day, this past week. Wow, a lot's happened this week. I didn't really realize it. But I got a really cool message from somebody that's been following me in this journey. And she was like, Chris, I've been dealing with alcohol abuse and stuff like that. Oh, I got 2 messages. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so the first one, Jen, if you're watching this, what's up? Shout out to Jen. And she was telling me, like, she had a roommate move in, and the roommate started drinking, and she thought it was gonna be cool because, helping with the rent, but she realized that it wasn't worth that toxic energy coming into the home, AKA the alcohol coming into the home. It wasn't gonna help her, and her son also lives with her. So bringing in a roommate to share this house, it wasn't in the best benefit. She would have much rather paid the extra amount of rent and, had that environment under control, like her space, her peace. But she said she's been inspired by the videos, so shout out to Jen. I think that's super cool. And then another homie that used to work actually in our solar office, Josh, shout out to Josh. He messaged me, he's like, dude, like, that's why I had to leave. I live in Fresno, California. He's like, that's why I had to leave Fresno. Everybody just drinks there, and like, it just wasn't good for me. It was toxic. I was like, bro, like, I was wondering where the fuck you went. I had no idea where you were. And he ended up moving somewhere down south, like SoCal, by San Bernardino. It's like not Hidden Valley, that's the ranch. Indian Wells or something like that. But he's like, dude, I'm in the sober capital of the world. Like, if you need anybody to talk to. So I was just like, wow, like, thank you for the support. But see, it just goes to show that when you decide to take control of your life and make a statement and really be the best version of yourself, but you also document that process of becoming the best version of yourself, you're giving permission the same way, in the same exact way when you're drinking, you're giving people permission to also be great. And what you're also doing is you're helping people who also might be struggling with what you're battling as well, but you would just never know on the surface because you never shared that story. And so it's really, really powerful to share your story, and I'm really glad that I've been documenting this process. It's not super hard. I'm making 1 video a week, and I'm sharing it, and you never know who you're gonna impact. You might share 1 video, and the video is gonna impact somebody in such a way that they reach out to you and say, hey, because of you, I XYZ. Because of you, because you didn't quit, I XYZ. And even if they never reach out to you, you just never know what type of impact you're gonna have on somebody by deciding to take control of your life, deciding to take charge. So I had no idea that Jen was in that sort of environment and was in that sort of position. I had no idea that, like, where Josh went and was in that predicament with himself. Because I decided to put these videos out, it allowed us to connect on a whole nother level outside of work. And it got me to have a greater understanding of who he is as a person and what's important to him. And now I know that Josh values family, he values his health, and he values his future and his success. So by taking charge of your life, I suppose in conclusion for this summary, this week's video, and again, I appreciate your time. Thank you for sticking with me. I know I talk a lot sometimes. Don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to, put yourself out there and share exactly what it is you're going through, what you're battling. I'm not saying air out all your dirty laundry and tell everybody all your deep secrets and what the fuck happened to you as a kid. But whatever you're going through, document it, share it, put it out there. It doesn't have to be a super fancy video. It can just be something super like this, very intimate one-on-one, and it's gonna resonate with somebody. And so I'm really glad, again, for Jen, for Josh, and for anybody else that's been watching these videos. And if you're, being a part of this 90-day alcohol challenge, and if you're gonna go beyond, and again, I'm really considering going beyond this and doing like a year, maybe just total lifestyle shift, which is fucking crazy to say, but understand that while you might inspire people, you also might deter some people away. And these are gonna be people who are like family members, friends, lifelong friends, people who you've been connected with for so long. But the really cool thing is you're going to attract a lot of new people, and the foundation is going to be built on something solid because it wasn't built on booze. And I think that's what's most important. So thank you for watching this video. My name is Chris Altamirano. If you haven't been enjoying this journey, please like this video, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you can get next week's 7-week update video and all the future videos. Again, I really appreciate you investing your time and sticking with me on this journey, all your comments and love and share. Everything is really appreciated. I appreciate all the support. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.